And here's an unusual one for you. A video coming from the Real Life Lore channel on YouTube. They have a great channel there with loads of videos that I've looked at the titles on them and I think I want to watch that and that. So we might cover some more Real Life Lore ones. And this one in particular is called What's the Deepest Hole We Can Possibly Dig? That's actually quite intriguing because from what I know on Earth, you have like magma or lava, don't you, in the centre, keeping us warm, right in the middle. So you surely can't dig that close to that.
In theory, it'd be like the surface, circumference of the Earth. But in reality, I guess this is what this must go into: is where you could really get to before you melted away.
Well, it'd be a shame if it didn't. Otherwise, that'd be a bit hypocritical of the title, Kevin.
It's yeah, it kind of reminds me of Journey to the Centre of the Earth, where they're in their little sort of like, spaceship, aren't they? It was like 1950s or 60s.
Or 60s film, right?
Yeah,
an old
one, yeah, that was brilliant. It was like another world in the middle. Yeah.
Oh, right, that sounds real plausible. Anyway, without further ado, let's go for it.
This is a real-life lore video made possible by Skillshare, home to 16,000 classes that could teach you a new life skill.
How many?
The first 500 people to sign up using the link in the description will get a 2-month free trial. So at some point in their lives, nearly everybody has wanted to dig a hole down to the center of the Earth. The only problem is, nobody ever has actually dug a hole down that far. This leads us to the question that this video is all about. If humanity decided that digging a hole was the #1 objective of our species, then how deep down could we actually dig with modern-day technology? Let's say that we start somewhere on the Earth's surface and just start digging from there. Not too far down at 1.8 meters, and we arrive at the standard grave depth in Western culture. So if you're afraid of zombies, this is how far down they'll be coming from.
Start finding some
4
bones.
meters down, and we arrive at the depth that Pharaoh Tutankhamun's tomb was discovered at. A little further, at 6 meters below the surface, we reach the maximum depth that metal detectors can pick up signals from. At 12 meters, we can find the deepest burrows dug by animals, the Nile crocodile.
They went down
a little further down at 20 meters, and we arrive at the depth of the Paris Catacombs beneath the city of Paris, a tomb that holds the remains of over 6 million people. Double that distance to 40 meters down, and we can see the deepest swimming pool in the world. If you drained this pool and jumped into it from the top, it would take nearly 3 seconds before you would hit the bottom. 100 meters down is the usual distance that governments bury their nuclear waste at. And just beneath that, at 105.5 meters down, is the deepest metro station in the world, located in Kiev. Moving on to 122 meters down, and we see the deepest known point that a plant's roots have ever reached, a fig tree in South Africa. 220 meters down, and we arrive at the deepest river in the world, the Congo River in Africa. Beyond that, at 240 meters, you can ride through the deepest railway tunnel in the world that connects the Japanese islands of Honshu and Hokkaido. But at 287 meters down, you can drive through the deepest road tunnel in the world in Norway. 305 meters down, and you would still be vulnerable to the B-82 Earth-penetrating nuclear warhead, which can destroy structures up to this depth beneath the surface. Incredibly though, at 392 meters, we arrive at the deepest well and possibly deepest hole ever dug by hand. This is the Woodingdean water well in the UK, and it was dug all the way back in 1862. At 603 meters down, we arrive at something terrifying. The deepest vertical drop inside of a cave. If you were unfortunate enough to be in this cave and fall down this hole, the fall would be higher up than falling from the top of the One World Trade Center in New York, and the fall would take you over 11 seconds before hitting the bottom. Even further down, though, at 700 meters, is where the Chilean miners were trapped at for 69 days back in 2010. 970 meters down is the deepest hole ever dug that still has an open sky above it, the Bingham Canyon open pit mine in Utah. This pit is so deep that you could place the tallest building in the entire world in the center and still be a sight on that road. Look at that. Much further down at 1,410 meters, though, is where the deepest concert ever held happened by the band Agonizer in Finland.
As you do.
1,642 meters down is the depth of the deepest lake on Earth, Lake Baikal in Russia. And 1,857 meters down is the deepest part of the Grand Canyon. The deepest known cave on Earth is located 2,197 meters beneath the surface in Georgia, but the deepest hole that you could actually fall into goes way deeper than even this. All the way down at 3,132 meters is the bottom of the Moab Kotsong mine shaft in South
good if you're
Africa.
claustrophobic, Kev.
Taking the elevator takes 4.5 minutes to
definitely
reach
won't
the
panic
bottom,
down
but
there.
if you fell into it from the top, it would take you 25 entire seconds for you to hit the bottom and think about what you've just done. Long enough to receive and miss
changed my
an
mind.
entire phone call. Even further down at 3,600 meters is the deepest point that a multicellular organism has been found alive.
Oh.
This freaky-looking worm. But human
Freaky-looking
beings
worm.
themselves have been even deeper than this. 4,000 meters down is the deepest part of the deepest mine on Earth, also located in South Africa. The trip from the surface down to the bottom takes over an hour to complete, and the temperature at the bottom can reach a sweltering 66 degrees
I'm
Celsius.
starting to get warm now.
6,000 meters is the average depth of the oceanic crust beneath the ocean floor. Way down at 8,848 meters is the height of Mount Everest if it were placed underground instead. 10,994 meters down is the bottom of the Marianas Trench, which is the deepest part of the ocean. I already covered the depth of the ocean in another
I
video,
want to see
but
that one. That looks
unbelievably,
great.
humans have actually dug down significantly deeper than even this. For reference about what's next, 11,887 meters is the average altitude that a commercial airliner flies at. But deeper than that, at 12,262 meters is the depth of the Kola super deep borehole, a project where the Soviet Union attempted to drill all the way through the Earth's crust. They only reached a third of the way there, though, because the temperature at this depth reached 180 degrees
it's getting hot
Celsius,
now.
which was too hot for the drill to continue operating any further. The hole is also only 23 centimeters wide, so luckily you can't accidentally fall into it. If you dropped a quarter down the shaft, though, it would take about 50 seconds before it hit the bottom. Recently, however, this depth has been surpassed by the Z44 Chavio oil and gas well, which has drilled down to a depth of 12,376 meters.
had a drill
That's
bit
the equivalent
sort
of
of literally
stacking 15 Burj Khalifas
miles
on top of each other,
long.
and
That's
currently
real deep.
represents the deepest hole that humanity has ever dug. The crust, however, can extend down to 70,000 meters below the Earth's surface, and the planet's center is located 6,371 kilometers down. If the surface of the Earth is Lisbon, Portugal, and the planet's center is Astana, Kazakhstan, then humanity so far has just ventured this tiny, insignificant
That's nothing, is it?
distance. A lot of
And
you
it's
have
already
asked
that
me
hot
before
down there.
what software I use to create these videos
hang
with
on.
and how I learned to do it. I mostly use Adobe After Effects and Adobe Photoshop, and I taught myself how to use both of them by watching tutorial videos online. I never went to college for animation.
I guess there's a nice little advert here, Kev.
Yes, it is, yeah. I'm self-taught, same as you. Let me just...
Yes, we use Adobe Premiere Pro.
Yeah, and
After
Photoshop.
Effects, and well, actually, they use After Effects really much.
Not
Not
Use
too
the
much,
Photoshop.
yeah. Maybe in the future you will more.
I think that'll do for that. So, what do you reckon to the as far as you can
Is
go?
that actually
Then,
finished, or...?
yeah,
Alright, it's quite a long bit there.
I can double check, Kev.
Just...
That was a very long advert.
Wow.
We ain't going to watch all the advert, but you get the idea. Go and help
Yeah.
support Simple History, or in real life law, even better.
Real life,
we
yeah.
just recorded a Simple History.
Yeah,
one.
get the right one.
Yeah, go and support real life law and Simple History.
Just dug a hole yourself.
Dug my own hole there, Kev. Now, that puts in perspective how far we've actually dug so far to how much further we could actually go. I mean, you can't though, because you're already getting up to like 200 degrees centigrade just by going that little amount.
Certainly, yeah. I mean, it just shows is the life even further down that can survive that. We know we know in the sea there's things which can live at the pressure would just crush a piece of metal flat, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And creatures actually live down there. There's just who knows there isn't molecules and things which can live.
I think when it comes to I don't know. I mean, the Earth was maybe pretty hot when it was first formed, weren't it? And there was
That's it. I mean, they go on about global warming. Hey, we've got a heater in the centre of the Earth heating it up. I don't know how it's that radiant heat isn't going to slowly heat the place up anyway. I think you need something come from the outside to cool it down, don't you? It seems to me. There was like, that amount, weren't there, to get through in theory, and we've got that far out of it. So
it's hundreds and hundreds or 1,000 odd
a little bit
degrees.
like
So.
space, isn't it? I mean, we're probably like 1 millimeter in a million.
Not even that. Don't even think of that, are we? It's just, I know what you mean, it's mental.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add in there from the real life lore video? Not simply history.
Very interesting though. I enjoyed that.
It was. We love that sort of stuff, and we'll cover some more of that kind of stuff here at Hypetrain. So be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you all soon.
Catch you on the flip side.